Hi guys, so today I have a really fun video for you. Well, at least it was fun for me to research it, and it was actually inspired by a video that Nutmeg LaBelle did, and I will put the link to her video and her channel in the bottom bar. She also makes videos on baby names, and she has some really cool ones, so definitely go check out her channel. But this video is going to be on names from my family tree. And so I signed up for Ancestry.com for the free 2-week trial, and I didn't really expect to find much. In like 4 hours, I traced my family history back to 1517. It was ridiculous. And the names that I found were so cool, and I was kind of freaking out because I am such a name nerd. And I was like, I have to make a video on this, so that is what I'm going to do. So these are some names that I found while researching my family history, my family tree. So for girls, the first name I found was Annetta, and this one isn't that out there or anything, but I just think it is so pretty. It's just a diminutive of the name Anna, and I think it would make a really nice middle name choice as an alternative to the overused middle name Anne. Not that there's anything wrong with Anne as a middle name, it's my middle name and I love it, but I just think Annetta is very pretty and kind of fresher sounding than Anne. The next one I put on this list because I was surprised to see it on a girl, and there are actually several women in my family tree with this name, and I'd only ever heard it for boys before, and that is Christian. And Christian, of course, means follower of Christ, and back in, I believe, the 1700s, there were several Christians in my family tree who were female, so I thought that was kind of interesting. The next name comes from the Welsh side of my family, and that is Gwendolyn. And Gwendolyn is a Welsh name that means white ring. And I love Gwen names. My mom almost named me Gwyneth. It was probably in her top 5 choices when she was expecting me. But Gwendolyn is beautiful, and I just love the nickname Gwen. The next name I have is the very spunky name Maud, and this is actually the name of my great-great-grandmother, and her first name was Hannah, but she always went by her middle name, which was Maud, and Maud is a French name that means battle might. The next name is Wilhelmina, and the woman in my family tree who had this name spelt it phonetically. But the actual original spelling is Wilhelmina. And Wilhelmina is a feminine form of the name William. The next name I have is Dove, and this is for my great-grandmother, Anna Dove. Her middle name was Dove, and I think it is such a beautiful middle name. It's definitely one that I would consider using as a middle name if I had a daughter, and it's, of course, just an English bird name. The next name I found was so unique that I could find absolutely no information on it in any baby name book or on any website, so if you do know anything about this name, please let me know, and that is Amelia. And I'm pretty sure it was just a made-up name. Her first name was actually Anne, and then her middle name was Amelia. But I thought it was so weird and cool at the same time that I had to include it on this list, even though I have no idea what it means or what the origin is. Then I have another Welsh Gwen name, and that is Gwenllian, and this was a Welsh name that was very popular in the medieval Welsh royal family, and it means white flaxen, and I couldn't really trace this side of the family back far enough to know if I am descended from Welsh royalty, so I'm just going to pretend like I am. The next name I found was actually a Russian male name, but it was used on a female in my family tree, and that is Eon. And I don't know if it's pronounced Eon or Ian, but I think it looks really cool, and it means God is good. The next name I was so excited to find because it's a name that I really like anyways, although this is an alternate spelling of it, and that is Tamar. And Tamar is a Hebrew name that means palm tree. And the last name that I have for girls is Euphemia, and I think this is just such a grand name. It's just so bold, and I can't imagine using it on a child today, but it's definitely a cool name, and it's a Greek name that means well-spoken. So for boys, I was really excited to find the name Gideon in my family tree because I love it. And it's a Hebrew name that means great warrior, and it was a middle name. His first name was Andrew, but I just think Gideon is so cool. And the next name, there was actually someone named this on both my mom's side and my dad's side, and that is Archibald. And this is another really grand name that I would never use on a modern day child, but I just think it's so cool, and it's an English name that means truly bold. And then I found the name Hartley, and I thought this was interesting because it was actually a last name way back in my family tree, but my step-cousin's name is Hartley, so I thought that was interesting, and it's an English name that means deer field. Then I found the really cool name Silas. I love this name. It's a Latin name that means man of the forest. I don't remember which side this was on, but I thought it was cool that it was in my family tree. And then the coolest name that I found, the most unusable name on this list, but the coolest, was the name of like my 9th great grandfather, and he actually had a son who was named this as well, and that is Dionysius. And I'm not joking, his name was Dionysius. And Dionysius was the Greek god of wine, and I thought it was so cool that this name was actually in my family tree. Then I've talked about this name before, but I thought I would mention it in this video, and that is Nathaniel. Yeah, my great, I think, grandfather. He had the same first and last name. I think his parents had like 5 or 6 boys, and he was the last boy, and they just ran out of first name ideas, so they just named him Nathaniel. And Nathaniel is a Hebrew name that means gift of God. The next name I have is actually my grandma's maiden name, and that is Knox. And Knox is a Scottish surname meaning round hill. So I thought it was really cool when Angelina Jolie chose this name for her son, because for me it's a family name. Then I found Fletcher, and Fletcher is a name that I started liking recently, and when I found it on my family tree I liked it even more. And it's from the old French surname that means arrow maker. And the next one is Emil August, and that was his first and middle name, and I thought it was just a great combination. And Emil is a Latin name that means rival, and August comes from the name Augustus, which means to increase. And then I found Euphem, and there isn't really that much information on this name, but it's possibly a male version of the name Euphemia, which was on my girls list, which means well-spoken. And the last name I have for boys is Reese, and this was one of Nathaniel's brothers. So he got a really decent name, Reese Nathaniel. And Reese is a Welsh name that means running. So those are some of my favorite names that I found on my family tree. I would love to hear some fun names from all of your family trees. And if you want to make a video response, that would be awesome. Or just leave them in the comments. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.